I came out of the meditation and there was like this massive spider right next to me. I'm like, I'm really happy I just came out of this.
All right, folks, welcome to the Courage and Nadeshot Show presented by Cash App. It's where the cash is at. And don't worry, when we get into our good old ad read, as we always do, we'll really say what we think is the true slogan of Cash App. Today is a very special episode. I'm going to be honest, if you're watching this right now, this is the first episode we've filmed from here, but the second episode where you've seen our brand new set, state-of-the-art. For me, I've never seen anything like it before in gaming and esports entertainment. You're also wondering, where the hell is Nadeshot? Nadeshot is sick with a 103-degree fever. We hope he gets well soon, but at the same time, I know secretly Jackson's very excited to be here.
I'm a very big fan, and I'm excited to talk to you.
Yeah,
I think this will be fun.
And I'm going to say, Jack.
There's a lot of Jacks in this room.
Yeah,
yes.
Seriously.
We actually have 3 JDs.
Yeah.
So I think the JD trifecta is strong today.
JD3 is our new podcast. Yeah. But no, introducing, our guests here today, Jack Dorsey, co-founder and CEO of Twitter, founder and CEO of Square. You've done a lot in your life, and we're going to get into a little bit of it and also have, I think, more fun than probably what you're used to on some of your interviews, because we like to break things down.
Thank God. Thank God. There's been some rough interviews. So.
Okay, good. Oh, maybe we'll get to that. Who knows? Let's start some dirt right here. But before we get too far into things, obviously got to give our shout out to Cash App. This show is brought to you by Cash App. If you don't use Cash App, then fuck you. That's what I think the Cash App slogan should be. And Cash App's been running with it. I think we got thumbs up here. So if this is the first you heard of that,
we'll consider it.
There you go. You probably know Cash App is the easiest way to send money to your friends and buy Bitcoin, but Cash App does way more than that. Cash App also comes with a cash card, a free debit card that comes with boosts, which are like instant rewards for shopping at your favorite places like DoorDash, Whole Foods, and Target. Literally credit card style perks packed in a free debit card. What are you waiting for, Internet? Look at me. You know I don't just tell you terrible things. This is a great investment and great thing to do. Cash App is also the easiest way to try and grow your money in the market with their new investing feature. So Jackson, you want to get your money up?
I do.
You can use Cash App. Guess what? Unlike other investing tools that force you to buy the entire shares of a stock, Cash App lets you buy an itty bitty piece with just $1. So you can, root for me if you don't got a ton of money out there.
Too many expensive stocks. Berkshire Hathaway, you get in there with $1. It's great.
You can get excited. It's like rooting. It's kind of like rooting for sports teams investing. Is that a good way to put it?
Kinda.
I mean,
not exactly.
For other people, probably
most
not.
Boring sport ever.
Yeah, right. As you slowly watch charts. And then finally, as we head towards the end, brokerage services are provided by Cash App Investing, a subsidiary of Square and member SIPC. And also, probably the coolest part of all this, in my opinion, we're stoked to be working with Cash App to support the Gamers Outreach Foundation. Now, when you sign up for Cash App and use the promo code THIEVES, THIEVES, I was good at spelling bees when I was younger. Not only will we receive $10, but Cash App will also donate $10. So you get $10, and kids that are in hospitals having to go and deal with so many things now will get awesome gaming cards to be able to play things and help uplift them. So you'll definitely want to support Gamers Outreach, founded by Zach Weigel. Such a great opportunity there. So remember to use promo code THIEVES when you download Cash App from the App Store or Google Play Store today. Cash App made this whole facility possible, as people will now find out in the next, hour. It's a big day.
That's exciting. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a big day for 100 Thieves.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Well, you were a big part in making it happen.
Well, how long has it been in the making, though?
Little over 2 years. We got started in November 2017. We were in like a bedroom of a house in Venice, and now we have this place, which is bananas.
And what was the genesis? Why'd you want to do it?
It really goes back to
that's a perfect Nadeshot question.
That's why we need Nadeshot. I was there with him, so I'll do my best.
I'm asking the tough questions.
He's flipping around.
Matt had done basically everything he could do within kind of the gaming sphere. He was a pro gamer. He was a huge entertainer, and had built been part of building a lot of the biggest teams in the space. And he wanted a creative outlet more than anything, I think. But part of that was getting back into esports. And he started 100 Thieves initially as this kind of like clothing and lifestyle brand that eventually took on something so much bigger, which is kind of everything that he was interested in. So entertainment, esports and competitive gaming and apparel as kind of that outlet for him to build something that he really didn't think existed in gaming. And that's really been our mission since the beginning.
That's awesome.
Like, how do you build something for that generation that is relevant and cool and exciting and competitive and all those things?
It's nice to build something physical too.
Yeah.
Given your whole world is digital, abstract, and it's nice to like be able to feel something and see other people.
I totally agree.
No, I think that's exactly, how Matt felt. The facility tour video that's coming out probably by the time that this is done, we're done filming this. That felt like a high school reunion. They brought in all the employees, everyone, all the players, anyone involved across the world was here, and
it's incredible.
The whole place was just so lively. And as you said, to have a physical place, I mean, I'm sure you've experienced something similar to that, in everything that you've accomplished. Like, it was cool for me as just someone that is here on video, and I don't come to the office 9 to 5. I work out of the house, and to be here for that, it was something that I'll never forget for 100 Thieves. And today, people are saying that this is the biggest day in 100 Thieves history. So to be filming this, our first podcast now in state-of-the-art studio is awesome.
Congrats.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. I think the other thing that's special is gaming in general is typically a community that mostly exists online, whether it's in games or on Twitter or Reddit, whatever it is. And I think so many of the special moments for gamers over the years, and for you getting started casting tournaments and all these things, is when you do get to congregate in person for those special events. I think that's really special.
Yep.
And I think we're hoping that this space can be more of that for not only our employees and players and teams, but also our fans and everything else.
Yeah,
so
totally.
We're stoked.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, well, we're really excited to have you here. Obviously, this is kind of part of the launch of season 2 of the show, as we're putting it, to kick off 2020. And Matt,
you do this weekly? How often do you do?
Episodes go up bi-weekly. And we've kind of been expanding more and more on who's on the show, right? There's so many things we're interested in.
Yeah.
And again, gaming and fashion, entertainment, all this stuff all ties in so much together. Like, anytime someone comes on, there's always something that, there's some sort of tie to. Obviously, my whole career, the reason I started was because I had a funny moment on a broadcast when I was a nobody commentator, where these guys that had a following on Twitter saw it and were like, yo, the new caster, Courage, is so funny. Go follow him. And I went from 300 followers to 2,500, and then always got called back for events. And then now, to be here, it's been crazy. So, and then even obviously, researching you and learning more, hearing, of your fashion side and things that interest you outside of the workplace. 100 Thieves tries to push itself as, one of the leading innovators from kind of gaming fashion, but then also just as a fashion brand and clothes in general. And they absolutely crush it with, the apparel stuff like this is,
100%.
as well. We got to get you in some of it.
Yeah,
I would love to.
We'll work on
See,
that.
there you go.
I do want to start with, we talked about obviously Square Twitter. Those are the headlines. How do you introduce yourself when you meet people?
Check. Just check. It depends on the question. Like, what's the question?
I don't know. I'm curious for you. Maybe this.
I kind of shy away from. I kind of just say, yeah. I work on technology.
And is that when you introduce yourself that way? Are you, or maybe a better question would be, what do you want people to think of when they think of Jack?
I don't know. As you both know, like, every person we meet, every experience we have is a teacher. So, like, I'm more looking for whatever the reaction is, and like what I can learn from this person, what I can learn about myself, what I can learn about this individual, about this experience I'm having. So I don't have an expectation of what people might think. I would love. I think there's obviously a huge deficit of trust in technology right now. So would want to show that, the humility that we have, and that I believe I have, the work and the effort that we're putting into, and the thought that we're putting into our work, that it's not it's not just a faceless company. It's people like me that care and are supportive of one another, and trying to do our best and making mistakes all the time, but admitting them and pushing through. So just, some element of that, but I would rather see like what people see, and how is that hurting us or helping us, or how can we address anything that might be false or inaccurate.
It's almost funny to hear that, because I feel like you mentioned you don't want to be just a faceless company, but like, it seems like the number one trend right now for companies is like, all right, Wendy's had a fire Twitter account that just started roasting people. And then now I've seen countless companies take on that approach to like add a human side. Like the amount of times you click into those tweets or posts and it's like, whoever runs this account deserves a raise. Whoever does this, now I'm from New Jersey. The New Jersey state Twitter is run like that. Like they're like spending half their days roasting Delaware, roasting Pennsylvania.
Speaking of roasting, I just on the way over here, I read that Mr. Peanut has died. And they're giving him a funeral.
What?
At the Super Bowl.
Oh, wow.
And they're doing this whole thing. Wow. 105 years old.
I wonder if his friend
he just passed away, and
Mr. Almond will be there.
It's all unfolding on Twitter. but yeah, I mean, there's definitely like bringing more humanness to the brand, or taking the opportunity to be Twitter as a brand, and to get into the memes and to get a laugh.
Yeah.
But even we have that too. Like at Twitter, it has gotten a little bit more cute and funny sometimes, and I appreciate that. But at the same time, if we can't show like, we're humans struggling just like everyone else, there's just no empathy, there's no relation, there's very little likelihood that people will want to continue using us ultimately.
Yeah, I think my girlfriend that she used to work at, she was an intern at Twitter.
Cool.
You follow her. You guys have a photo together. Her name's Madison McCarthy.
Cool.
She's going to stop by later, I think, to say hello. One thing that she always talked about is how much she valued her time at Twitter, going up there for 2 summers. She would just go up there, be there for the summer, come back down. She said how, like, even now today, most of the friends that I've met through her, she worked with there.
Wow.
And how
I know
diverse
Madison.
the team was.
She's awesome.
Yeah, no, she's a super,
cool.
super hard. She's super hard worker and super motivated. So, but what I find, awesome is she was showing me the stuff that was going on with like the one team and everything that was going on with the Twitter team last week, and how even the people you brought on, it wasn't like you were just bringing in celebrities or they were iconic celebrities who use the platform and everyone knows for what they do. Like, I think Chrissy Teigen was involved, and she was showing me the tweets. And like, I think that's a perfect example of like knowing what is going on the platform, obviously, but then also how to make it fun and things that everyone will be excited about. Like, I know as a YouTuber, if I meet Mr. Beast, or Mr. Beast is involved because he's like one of the faces of the platform, or now with TikTok, it's like, of the certain iconic TikTok people. David Dobrik just did a crossover with Jimmy Fallon, but then the Charlie Charlie
TikTok
girl from TikTok, who's like the number one going person there. It's kind of awesome to see the platforms and the people that work on it and see how they use the platform, embrace it.
It was a special week because people felt, and we tried to encourage us as much as possible, but they felt free to just tweet about every single thing that was happening. And it's kind of cool to be at a company where we can almost work in public and share as much as we can. In certain cases, we can overwhelm people with the amount of information, but it was cool that people felt free to just tweet out whatever Chrissy was saying or what Elon was saying.
Yeah.
We asked him for direct feedback. I said, you're on the service all the time. You've had your ups and downs. Give us feedback, and be critical, and be straightforward, be direct, and make it sting. We want it. We grow through that. So for us to hear from him directly, but also for the world to hear from him, and then articles to be written because our folks tweeted what he said was awesome. And that's what we aspire to be.
No, that's so cool to see. Even this whole facility was like, when can we announce it? We can't put it. I just brought a vlog camera here. I was asking like, what can I film and not? But speaking of Twitter stuff, my name is Jack. Yours is Jack. You luckily got an account on Twitter before me. I don't know how I didn't.
There is benefit to starting a thing.
Yeah, I guess so.
You get the first name,
first choice. I want to be honest. How much have you been offered for @Jack? Have you ever been approached? Someone said, "I will give you $10 million for your @handle."
I don't think that's ever happened. I have @Jack on Instagram though.
Okay,
and people have offered. they haven't offered that much money. They've offered $100 or $1,000 or whatnot, but that's consistent. I get requests all the time.
Just kids every day.
Every day.
Jack, I want it.
Every day I want the Instagram. I don't want the Twitter.
I guess on Twitter it's probably like no chance. That guy started that thing.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I just don't think they want any of the baggage that comes with it. Probably. I don't know.
Fair.
Yeah. Anyone that gets tagged, anyone with the name Jack just tags you in it. I feel like a lot of times
life comes at you fast with that name.
I feel like you go to like researcher mentions, you're like, oh, let's see what's going on today. And it's just people that are just got in and out with Jack, meaning their friend. That's not the actual
Jack in the Box. A lot of Jack in the Box.
Oh, that one happens a lot.
Yeah.
You know, Nadeshot, who's just not here today, he always asks simple questions. Like, what was one we wanted to ask?
How much money you got?
Oh,
that's one of his favorite questions.
How much money you got?
I have to at least float that in the air.
Is this on me?
I mean, it's however you interpret
do not
the
have to answer it.
He's asked Scooter Braun that. He's asked countless YouTubers and influencers and NBA players.
I don't have any cash because I use Cash App all the time.
There we go. Good answer.
And I have some money in there.
Nice. How much money you got in your Cash App?
I think I have, I don't know, probably like 30,000.
Okay. Well,
because
I'll drop you my name.
I use it. My number one feature, my favorite feature on it is the Bitcoin thing. And number two is the stock thing. The fact that we have access to these Bitcoin is just incredible. It's a 24/7 network that people can buy and sell, and as they sleep, they can earn money. I mean, that is wealth, is something that works for you as you sleep. And Bitcoin is more of a new thing, but the stock market is one that's always been out of access for most people. So you brought up Berkshire Hathaway. I mean, that's it's a $340,000 stock. To buy one share, you need $340,000. So to be able to do it for $3 or $1 is pretty incredible. And it's again a place where as you sleep, you can earn money and you can build wealth, which is there's not a lot of options out there for a lot of people to actually consider even building wealth in the first place. Housing is one, stock market is another, Bitcoin is a newer one, but that's it.
I really wanted to ask you about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I think it's something that probably most of our audience and listeners are, at the very least, loosely familiar with.
Yeah.
But I think it's still kind of this vague Silicon Valley idea that is maybe you own a little bit of it, but what does it mean or why does it matter? I'd love for you to distill, maybe just very briefly, why you think it's really important and why it might practically impact their lives in the next 5 years, maybe.
Well, I'd encourage everyone who's listening, who's in the Silicon Valley, California technology bubble, to visit one country in Africa. Then you'll see. It's something here in California, here in Silicon Valley, here in the United States, we want because it's cool. It's a currency. It's not owned by any particular government. It's 24/7. It has all these incredible principles around being deflationary, so that it incentivizes savings instead of spending. A lot of things that we should want as an economy and we should want as a society. But what's interesting about, I spent November in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Ethiopia, and in South Africa. And it's not a want there, it's a need. It's a need because there's no way right now, without getting charged upwards of 30% to move money from Nigeria to Ghana where their family is. There's constant threat of government corruption against their own fiat currency. There's constant threat from what the Chinese government is doing and how most of the African goods are exported and then re-imported at a much, much higher tariff because of the currency exchange. So this is, if you want to feel it and you want to feel why it's practical and why it's necessary, spend some time in Africa, spend some time in Venezuela, spend some time in a country, in a nation that has to constantly be aware of what their government is trying to do to them, how their government is trying to sell them out, how much control their government has over them through this instrument of currency. So that's a practical aspect. But I mean, a lot of us here have grown up on the internet, and the internet has so many incredible ideals, and it's broken through so many barriers. So many nation state barriers have fallen. Media, communication, networking, gaming. You can play with someone in the middle of anywhere around the world, and that is incredibly powerful. But the thing that it lacks right now is a currency. The internet doesn't have a native currency. And if the internet had a native currency, the internet represents a global governance. It represents a global population. So then the world has a currency, one currency. I mean, just think about how incredible that would be, how quickly things could move, how ideas could be funded anywhere in the world. And we're not locked to any, to having us start a company here because the VCs are here. We can be anywhere. And that's pretty incredible.
Wow.
I mean,
go to Africa. Go to Africa.
Yeah,
go to South America. Go to South
I do want to go. I do. I have not had the chance to go. Australia was up next on my continent list. I still haven't been there, but then Africa is definitely shortly after. They have a lot of gaming events in South Africa.
Yeah.
That I know a lot of influencers have been to, and people have gone
the future. 4 billion people are going to be on that continent within the next 30 years.
Wow.
I think it's interesting too how much of both what you're talking about now and I've heard you talk about is very clearly with this global perspective, and I think it's something that is definitely relevant in our world too. And I think one of the things I love about gaming and even the competitive side of gaming and esports is that it isn't necessarily tied to these physical boundaries, and associated with that, a lot of the communities aren't tied to that. So like in gaming, Twitter has always been super, and you know this, but like gaming has always been a huge thing on Twitter. I think largely because we could have friends or communities or whatever that weren't your high school friends or weren't the kids you grew up with or weren't the people you're working with or whatever, but instead congregating in these communities that existed online. I'm curious for you from the early days, do you think was there anything you saw that made gaming really relevant on Twitter early on, or allowed it to kind of take over in some ways early on?
I think I mean the internet had some venues for gamers and for communities for some time, and they were very decentralized. IRC was an example. Usenet was another example. The problem with both those, they were great. I used them all the time. I loved them. I learned so much. My whole career is based on the fact that Usenet existed and IRC existed. I could learn from people about how to program and how to build and how to create and talk with people in real time and trade tips. But the problem with them is they had a discovery issue. Discovery eventually had to be centralized. And that's what I think a Twitter, a Facebook, a Google represents, is centralization of discovery. And the reason I think the technology had to be centralized is because the technology didn't exist to decentralize the discovery. So now we have things like the blockchain, which allow for more decentralized discovery. And that I think is a big part of our future. So I think people gravitated towards the RCs and towards the Usenets, towards a place that they could be found, a central location that they could be found and speak and could intersect with what they're doing in life. And the gaming conversation on Twitter is, I think it's our second largest. It's right behind, do you know what number one is? Take a guess.
Music.
No, well, it is music, but a specific type of music.
K-pop.
K-pop.
BTS.
Yes. BTS Army, share this right now. Seoul tour.
GOT7.
Support
Bam,
the BTS Army.
I do.
There you go.
You heard it
there we
here
go.
first.
Hey,
Let's go.
Number one podcast in the world after that.
We had an amazing visit with GOT7 as well. Bam Bam, who's incredible. So they have an extremely engaged fan base as well.
So you're a stan.
Oh yeah,
Jack Dorsey is a BTS stan. Who's your favorite Twitter account?
Well, there's so many. I mean, it really depends on the genre. I mean, my mom is incredible. She was one of our first 30. If you follow her, she says good morning every day. She says good evening. She's found all these other women around the world who she has coffee with on Twitter. Never met them.
It's amazing.
And they just say hello to each other. And like, it really speaks to like how you can use this service so differently to build community if you want to. Or Elon Musk is incredible. I mean, I think he just breaks so many boundaries on our service, and I think in a way that allows us all to learn and see and understand. And during a basketball game, Draymond Green's mother is my favorite follow because she's found all the other NBA moms and she trash talks them during the game. And she also trash talks Draymond during his games. And you can watch the game live or you can watch it on TV and you have her just tweeting and it's just funny.
Yeah.
And it just brings another level and layer to what you're doing. So I look for accounts like that just
so moms on Twitter really is the
moms on Twitter are pretty good.
I get occasional likes from his mom and I'm like, yes.
Oh, dude.
Elon's mom, May, is amazing, incredible as well.
That's actually
She's
so
awesome.
funny. The moms of Twitter. If you're not following enough moms on Twitter, it's time to change it.
They're incredible.
We have a few more minutes here because it's again big day with the grand opening and everyone's starting to arrive. One thing we kind of were questioning here was, do you have any history of gaming yourself? Do you have a childhood memory of a time of the game? Do you have a favorite game? Anything along those lines? It's fine to say no. Maybe it's time to bring some in.
No, I do. But I was really, really fascinated and fell in love with Maxis and all the Sims early on. And one of my favorite games, this is going to sound really, really odd, but one of my favorite games was this game called Sim Tower.
Okay.
And the reason why is it was created by this one Japanese guy, and he built this game only to simulate his passion for elevators and skyscrapers. And this whole game is built around elevators and optimizing for the elevator so people don't get angry as you build the tower out. And you deal with like the residential and commercial and industrial stuff. And I loved all the Sims, but this one in particular because I just learned so much from it. And it's so complex, but so simple at the same time. I just thought it was so beautiful.
Do you know a ton about elevators now? Like, do you think you could build one?
I couldn't build one, but I could definitely program one so that people would not get upset. Yeah,
perfect. We need a Willy Wonka. We need a Willy Wonka.
Educational
Willy
gaming
Wonka,
content.
one of my favorite
Diagonal.
movies.
Yeah.
We'll have to see if we can find that game and have somebody stream it on Twitch or something.
Oh, it's so great.
Imagine my
It's so great.
YouTube stream would have 3 viewers with people being like, "What the hell is going on here?" Jack, it's been absolutely awesome having you on the CouRage and Nadeshot Show. I know it's a little bit of a shorter episode today, but we've got a lot of exciting things going on.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
No, it's gonna be.
I have one more out there question for you, just because I was researching a little last night. I found that you'd both do like daily hour-long or 2-hour-long meditation. You've also done like 10-day in a cave in Myanmar, I think.
Yeah.
Like extended meditation.
Not fully in a cave, just an hour.
Okay, sorry. I'll leave you this one. What is the wildest thought you've come out of one of those experiences with?
Well, the last one was in South Africa, and I came out of the meditation, and there was like this massive spider right next to me. I'm like, I'm really happy. I just came out. I don't know what that thing is, but there's like black mambas and black widows down here. So I was blessed in that moment.
Yeah, see, I don't even kill the spiders in my house.
I love that. That's such a practical answer. Yeah. I love it.
That's
grounded in reality. For sure.
I was about to hear like the world is an oyster. No, there's just a big ass spider next to me.
There's more of those. But yeah.
Do you have anything? Since we do have to wrap up, do you have anything you would ask our viewers to go pay attention to, look at, whether it's related to you or stuff you guys are doing at Cash App and Square or Twitter, whatever you want to shout out?
I mean, I think the conversation we had about just getting out of our bubbles, like being able to see something completely different, I think is important. I had this incredible opportunity in November, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. And I'm going back this year. I'm going to live there for 3 to 4 months on the continent. And, just anything you can do today, small thing today that makes you a little bit uncomfortable, gives you a new perspective, is going to help you, and it's going to help society more broadly. But if you're learning, we're learning. If we're all learning, we're gonna be more successful. So
I'm gonna put you on the spot. While you're out there, can I come visit for a week?
Yes, of course.
Okay,
of course.
I've never been.
Awesome.
You said you got to set it up. To do it, so
that would be amazing.
I got a yes here.
That would be a good vlog associated.
Scooter, you're coming with me to Africa.
Let's do it.
Scooter's made it. The day is beginning, guys. Again, a big day for 100 Thieves and Jack. So you have Scooter Braun has a question. Scooter wants to know if I'm okay with Jack going to an Ariana Grande concert.
I did.
Oh, you did go. That's what you're saying. He's not only got the app that I want, but he's also gone to a show without me. So, Jack, the only thing left to do is fight.
There'll be another one.
We're going to have to fight each other.
No, there's other things we can do before that.
Okay, good.
The
We have,
app-
we have options.
Trust me.
Shout out to Cash App, as always, for presenting the Courage and Nadeshot Show.
And for this entire thing,
for
everything we're doing today, this year, Cash App has truly been like, we like to say, like, all of our crazy ideas, you guys make happen. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
So this is going to be such an exciting time. Thank you again to Jack for coming on the show today. I'd say where can people find you, but it's basically the most simple @name I think we've ever had on.
At Jack.
At Jack. That's
on
it.
Twitter.
Look it up.
And on Instagram, but I don't use that.
There you go. Perfect. That's going to do it for today's show. Be sure to drop a 5-star rating if you're watching on iTunes and on YouTube. Drop a like. Be sure to subscribe on the road to 1 million subscribers. That is it for the Courage and Nadeshot.
Nadeshot, we miss you.
We do miss you, Nadeshot. Get well soon.
Next time he'll be here and he'll have a bunch of ridiculous
really
questions
weird
for you.
questions.
Probably your favorite anime.
Yeah, what's your favorite anime? What do you think about the sun? Do you like going outside? But that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And YouTube, we'll see you fudging later. Goodbye.